Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing?
I am superb. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So everybody, I know you were ready and excited to have Paul and Davita on the show. I was excited too, guys.
I
But
was excited for y'all.
right? But here today, because Paul and Davita couldn't make it, they'll be here next week. So be excited. It's going to be awesome. We're going to
All right.
be starting to talk about, folks and their coming out story. So that'll be really interesting to
That's
hear
awesome.
people's perspective and their history, and kind of that's what it's all about, guys. Whether it's BPN, whether it's Hispanics Unidos, whether it's RDI Pride, Young Professionals, the list goes on and on. We want to hear your stories because that's what allows us to find our similarities and celebrate our differences much better, right?
I love it. Absolutely.
So, without further ado, we've got the Henderson Heat brought to you by Jon, and then we also have none other than I wish I had the cool sounds, right? To like
Yeah, something.
do a
Lasers.
drum roll.
Yeah.
Yes, we
I
need
think I would prefer the
pyrotechnics.
lasers. I think I'm coming in on lasers. That's kind of my, MO.
I love it. I love it.
So hello.
But Ashley Snowden, the one, the
Hello.
only, our corporate representative and
That's
ambassador
right.
for RDI Pride. So happy that we could steal you last minute to be on the show
Absolutely.
today.
I love it. I'm so happy to be here, Sprig. I mean, I love what you guys are doing. My man Paul over there, and I haven't. Is it Davita? Is that what you said?
Davita
I
Waller.
haven't. I haven't met her. Had too many conversations with her, but I believe we've spoken once or twice, and I just love what you're doing over there. I mean, it's nice. When being at the corporate site, it's kind of difficult. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm able to reach right all the way to Henderson or all the way to
Mhm.
Vermont or whatever it is. So it's really nice to have the ambassadors there doing their thing, and just spreading the knowledge and the love for the group. I think it's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we're doing this for, is we want to give every affinity group the opportunity to get representation and a voice, not just from a corporate standpoint to check a box, but to
Sure.
absolutely let it be something that is a part of who we are, a part of every single site. And that actually leads me to open up maybe the topic as this, corporate reach and personal responsibility, right? That's kind of the
Mhm.
balancing game that we play, right?
Sure.
And so, in your experience from starting up RDI Pride and kind of breathing new life into it, because it's always been around, it just maybe
Sure.
wasn't as there wasn't a lot of resource, wasn't a lot of excitement, wasn't a lot of opportunity, or whatever it may be, like you said, reach. And so now, since you've taken over, what kind of changes have you seen, in each group corporately, in, the support and different stuff? So take it away.
I honestly, the way that this sort of came about was one of those situations where I was just at the right place, the right time, and I was over at boot camp, and I think I was the second class to go through that, and Joseph was kind of giving his spiel about diversity and inclusion, and he mentioned the Pride group and all the other affinity groups that I think at the time he envisioned, and everybody was kind of kicking around and starting to do, and he mentioned that there wasn't a leader for the group, and I it was one of those like because I think I've definitely worked in places where it was not, not even just a pride group, but any affinity groups at all, right? Like where there
Yeah.
was that much focus and that much, poured into making that happen. So, really, when I agreed to do this, I don't know that I was prepared for like how much support I would get from RDI to do this. So that makes it very nice, right, to have that kind of backbone and I know that I'm doing something that supports the business as a whole. Hopefully makes our people feel, included and welcomed. And I say this all the time, not just that they're, it's okay that they work with us, right? No, it's okay that different people work with us and that we can be successful here, right? And we don't just get to work here. So, the group has been awesome. The response has been great. Everybody Everybody has been so, like I said, just so welcoming to all of us, not just me as the, as the chairperson, but just the group in general. All of the sites kind of joining in and kind of doing their thing and joining on Wednesdays and giving their input. And, it's just a beautiful thing. It really is. It's awesome for me, to be in a place where I'm able to see this happen, let alone be the head of it.
Awesome. Awesome. It's so good to hear. It looks like we've got Jace hopping on and giving some
My man,
love, letting
Jace.
us know. We see it as Facebook user because we're using StreamYard,
Yeah.
but I've also got it. I got the feed going right here just to make sure
Nice.
if anybody comments, we can give them a proper
A shout
shout
out.
out,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So thanks for hopping in here, Jason, giving some love. And to you guys, if you are commenting, you're seeing everything, you want to, speak up, definitely do give us a shout out and throw your name in there. That way we know who you are. But, let me ask you this from the corporate standpoint, seeing the support and seeing kind of the, I guess, engagement of more and more and more people, it's only going to continue, right? What do you see for the future of RDI Pride, not just the live shows and these types of conferences, but what are the big impacts that you see this group making?
I honestly, I think that, the next step in terms of the group is really probably going to be to get out into our communities and to be supportive in that way. Right. We can all be supportive of one another inside of our four walls, but, I think we've got the privilege and we've got the means to like be out there and do more for our communities. And so I think that's really the next step. I know here locally, I've been wanting to focus on the LGBTQ plus youth. Right. That's something that's important to me and that I'm passionate about. So, I think that ideally that would be the go-to, just to see all of the sites kind of get out into their communities and spread joy, spread love, spread acceptance. And, I think it's a win-win for the business, right? They see us out in the community, that this is a real thing we do, that RDI supports this type of activity and, this type of community. And hopefully that draws people draw people in as well. So
absolutely. Hey, Ron, thanks for saying hello.
Hello, Ron.
Yep, Ron is here, one of our supervisors here in Henderson.
Awesome.
I think one of the things too, and this is really a purpose, guys, of what we're doing on Fridays, what we're doing on Thursdays and Wednesdays with the other affinity groups at noon, is we are going to, as a group, reach out to the community, do these developmental events, do these social events. It's just a part of what we do. It's going to only get better and better and better. But the whole point of these shows is also to educate, right? Because I think a big part of it is sometimes it's absolutely a platform for folks that find themselves inside the LGBTQ plus community, right? And it is a place for them to feel accepted, safe, and everything like that. But I feel from, again, a person that is a part of, the Black Professionals Network and Hispanics Unidos and RDI Pride, I am not a part of those communities. You know what I mean? As a, want to say ownership or however, whatever the phrase would be. But I want to learn. I want to grow, and I want to find new ways to appreciate people. And guys, I think if you are outside, quote unquote, right, make sure we get those in the camera, outside of those communities, use these events, these lives, these different things that we're doing as an opportunity to learn new ways to celebrate people.
Man.
Because that's
new ways to appreciate people. I mean, that's poetic, right? Like, I mean, it really is. That's exactly, that's the day to day. We spend so much time around people, right? And if we can't celebrate differences and celebrate, like, the authenticity in people, like it makes for really long days at the office. You know what I mean? So
right, yeah. And if we just keep getting the same flavor of the people that are just that think the way we do, live the way we do, and all that stuff, then okay, fine, that's good. That's literally what tradition and heritage is all about, right? Is I guess honoring and continuing certain traditions. And there's a place for that. But then also there's this idea of accepting other people's traditions and accepting other people's, heritage and all of that type of thing. I mean, those things a lot of times have to do with bloodlines and families and
Sure.
races, but it's no different in the social structure area where, if we can absolutely look at how someone is different from us, we'll actually live, I think, a less boring life.
Yeah, a less boring life. And that's my goal. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to live a less
Make the
boring life.
t-shirt.
I
Let's,
know
all right,
that's
Jace, let's get the t-shirts made. Live a less boring life. Get
yes.
in an affinity group.
Get in an affinity group. That's right.
I'm still waiting for the affinity stones. We got to make like a affinity gauntlet,
Oh
right?
my
And
God.
it'll be like Joseph Pinnell has the affinity
Yeah,
gauntlet on, and he's got all the stones, right? That are
I
the
love
different
it.
affinity groups.
I mean, this is the first I've heard of this. That's amazing. That's a great idea. Was that your idea?
I don't understand how I've made it. The thing is this, I've made the mistake because my kids love Marvel. And
Sure.
so I've called them affinity stones and infinity stones, like intermixed at different times.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it's in mistake. I may have stumbled on that idea. Whoop, my light is actually a movement light. And so
So you
I
need
got to
to,
do the
yeah,
wave.
give it one of
There
these.
we
Yeah,
go.
there you
It's
go.
back on. I was not expecting
Great.
that, but I'm glad that I have this other light. Otherwise, that would
Otherwise,
the
yeah,
show is over at that
yeah,
point.
done. Golly. So what? It's noon there. It's 12. It's 10 after 12 there.
It is
Insane.
10 after 12.
What is the temperature in Henderson right now?
Oof, 100 and throw out a guess. Let's see, 101.
I'm gonna go 108.
Okay, 108, and the actual number is like The Price is Right,
Yeah,
right?
right.
The
Right.
Showcase Showdown.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry, you are over. It's 102. So
Man, 102.
$6 over.
I guess what? You just get used to that life? You just get used to that type of heat?
Um, you roll
Or
over
is
and
it a
accept it.
tolerate type thing?
It's a tolerate for sure.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
tolerate. It's you stay inside. It's,
It's AC. Okay. Just making
yeah,
sure.
here you can actually, because like in the summer, if
Yeah.
you're renting a home or an apartment or something and the AC goes out, you absolutely have the right to withhold your rent until it's fixed.
Till it's fixed. Yeah.
And it can go even deeper into legalities, but because of
Yeah.
that, yeah,
You could die in that heat. Yes, absolutely.
100%. But
100%.
wanted to ask,
Yeah.
you've been to how many different sites across RDI?
How many have I been to? The sites?
Mm-hmm.
I have not. This is the God's honest truth. So I have been here almost, it'll be 2 years in January. So like a little over a year and a half or what have you. And I have not been to any other sites, physically been to any
Okay.
other sites, right?
So,
And
Joseph,
that's which is ridiculous. I should have been to Latonia and Milford. Those are close sites. I should have been there. But I haven't yet. But Henderson's certainly on the list.
well, I think we should all get a petition going
I think
to
so.
bring Ashley to Henderson and
That's right.
everywhere.
That's
Because
right.
I think one of the biggest things is each city kind of has its own thing going on too.
Yep.
Yep. Looks like we've got some other folks. Someone said hi, friends. I don't know who that is yet.
Hello. Hello, Facebook user. Yeah.
Right. Facebook user 14917.
A 129er.
Yeah. I think that a big part of how well an affinity group does in a site can also be a part of like what's going on in that city. Like Henderson, we are, of course, Henderson, Vegas, the Valley here, is a melting pot. We are just super diverse, diverse. So, the BPN was a hit, right? Because it's a diverse city. Hispanics Unidos, absolutely. There's a lot of people that have come from California that were workers and different stuff like that. So there's so many Hispanics in our city. And then, of course, RDI Pride is going to be
Yeah.
the next one to kind of take off here as we, get more structure and stuff like that built out,
Mhm.
and more stuff going out, because the fact that the city is just got that acceptance to it.
Yeah. A big community there, of big LGBTQ plus community, you're saying? And
Absolutely.
oh
You
yeah, I
know,
bet. That's awesome. Yeah.
And so I think that it would be really cool, and Joseph, I know you're watching this at
I know
some
you're
point.
watching,
So
Joseph. Yeah.
I think that it's only the right thing to do,
Makes
uh,
sense to me.
to get Ashley out to each of the sites so that she can
Yeah.
kind of help breathe life where there needs to be breathe life into BPN, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, into
Affinity
RDI
group.
Pride.
Yeah.
And all of those corporate leaders should have the opportunity to kind of get around and sense that city and
Vibe
breathe
the
life
city. Yeah.
into what needs, that life in it, based on what's going on in that city, that site.
I love it. Yeah.
So,
No, like I said, that's why I love, like, Paul, you guys stepping up and doing something on, not, I don't, on your own, right? Just to, because I can't just like touch, that many sites and that many people. So it's super important that the ambassadors and certainly L will managers, that you guys support that and, kind of push that in the site, so that, they're not just getting my local flavor on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. You know what I mean? So I think it's super important.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to necessarily, force conversation either. So, if there is something that you would say to folks that maybe are inside the LGBTQ community but aren't sure if this is just like, is this just a corporate thing to, like, well, Pride Month is over now, so we're still going, so it's not like
Mhm.
just a thing, that's at the mall, but it's a, like, for sure thing. What would you say to those folks? And then what would be the message you have for, people that are outside, right? We've already had that conversation, outside the LGBTQ community, and that are like, I don't know if I want to, be associated with that, or whatever the
Sure.
case may be, because of, their beliefs or their upbringing or whatever the case may be. What would you say to people inside and people outside the community, when it comes to RDI Pride?
Well, I think people inside the community, I think the message is just that, the being authentic, right? Where we spend most of our time, which is work. We really do. It's 80% of our life. Being your authentic self and being able to be that person, in that type of setting is so important. And to have a group, that is specific to, that community, right? Like, where you can come in and voice your concerns. It's not just about, like, good times and whatever. If there was something truly going on work related that was offensive to the community, or, anything like that, I truly believe in my heart that it would be something we work through, that it would be something we'd focus on, that we would take care of it right away, type thing. Right. So
Yeah.
I think it's just important for the people on the, in the inside, to know that it truly is a safe space. You truly can be yourself here, and you will be accepted and invited, right? For those on the outside, I've always been super respectful of differing opinions and beliefs, and that some of that stuff is so innate, and so you're just bred in it, right? So I would never try to pull somebody away from their faith, or away from their their upbringing, or anything like that. But I think at the core of it, right, we're all just people, right? Trying to get along, and trying to make it through the day, and trying to make it through life, and going through obstacles. And, we're all just people. And, at the end of the day, who I love, or, who I choose to spend my life with, has no bearing on, anything else, really. Right. So, it's really just a message of, I respect the differing opinions, and I would ask for that same respect in return, right? That, they're always welcome to, right? Join the group, come in. Now let's have a conversation about it. I think the discourse is important too. So, yeah, what I'd say.
That's awesome. And as someone, that is outside, I really
Yeah,
appreciate that, we're not here to, tear down someone's faith. As a person of faith,
sure.
it, I'm not here to, preach to anybody at work. No, I don't do
Hmm.
that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm here to, number one, of course, do my job. We're going to clock in and we're going to do our jobs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
At the end of the day, this is a place of employment, but there is something to be said that RDI is more than that. You know what I mean? It really is.
Yeah.
And if we can learn to love each other, if we can learn to, be there for each other and have relationships,
Yeah.
guess what? Relationships do not like necessitate agreement.
Yeah. Right.
Like, there's no one that ever said having a relationship with somebody or caring about somebody means that you agree all the time.
Sure.
I was actually shameless plug. All right, shameless plug. I'm a
I'm ready.
huge John Mayer fan, and he just dropped Sob Rock, his new album. Check it out on Spotify. And
Yeah.
there's this line in one of the songs that says, "Hurt me once, shame on me. Hurt me twice, you're dead to me. Hurt me 3 times in your family." And I was like, clever John. Clever
John.
job, right? So,
Hurt me 3 times your family. Yeah.
and so I mean, guys, really, we don't even we love our families to death, and we don't agree with them.
That's right.
Like, come on. So it's just silly to say I can't, associate myself with that because I don't agree. Oh,
Yeah.
of course you don't, right? It's fine.
Right.
So just there really isn't a solid excuse not to be a part, not to learn, not to get engaged and care about the people around us. No one can come up with one good reason, and I'll give you $100 or something.
$100, right?
There you go. But
I love it.
super appreciate having you on the show today.
Yes.
And closing remarks. What do you got for us?
Shout out to my man Paul. Shout out to Davita. I am excited about what you guys are going to do over there. Appreciate the support. Keep doing what you're doing. And to my Pridesters, let's keep rolling.
Pridesters, I love it.
Leave love better.
All right, that's right. # leave love better.
That's
All
it.
right, guys. Appreciate you and have a great day. We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.